Dove magician as a kid and an award-winning dove magician?
Yeah, I started out in magic and it became a dove act real quick. So I ended up winning an award for a Canadian competition when I was around 14 years old.
That's hysterical.
Yeah, I mean, that's
50s swing music.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, I did started in a tuxedo and then I would tear away into like a leather jacket and white t-shirt, and I did Dove Productions. And
I keep threatening him because I have footage on VHS. I keep threatening to
I need this footage.
I mean, it's embarrassing footage now. I was 14 years old, but I mean, I guess it wasn't that bad if I won the contest.
He was against all adults.
That's amazing. Like, I never want this podcast to be like, how did you get started in magic? But like, that to me is just amazing, because now you do all this like amazing geek and sideshow and like, the really wild magic. But you started with doves.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, and it was a natural progression. It doesn't seem like it, but it just kind of slowly over time became what it is now.
Dove magic is legitimately one of my favorite guilty pleasures in magic, because the first time a magician produces a dove, I know that there's a human standing on stage with 10 more doves in their pants, which is one of my favorite things to see.
Well, before we even got together, I trained doves to fly back, and I made harnesses and things like that for doves. I had 12. I will never own a dove again ever in my life.
I'm a reptile guy. I've never owned a bird. Are they like messy or crazy, or what's the
noisy,
messy, just...
I mean, birds are just noisy. Like last year I was touring with Dan Sperry. And, we've got doves living in the bus bathroom, and we've got a
Spike,
his cockatoo, living in the bus with us, just squawking and screaming.
Spike is great. Literally, anytime I walk by his cage, he's like, hey, baby. A little flirt.
There's nothing greater than a flirty animal.
Yeah, it's...
And so we just finished the lecture, which was amazing, because I think, to me, what was really fantastic in listening to it was how much history there was. I guess I've seen a lot of these lectures, and I've now participated in filming, and I did not expect so much geek magic history, which was great, because
Ryan's
it was
obsessive.
Well, I think it's important to
know your history, credit the people who deserve credit.
There's too many people in magic and sideshow and all this that they see something on YouTube and then they just do it, instead of doing the research behind it and finding out where it came from and why are they doing it. And I think it's kind of strange not to know the history. It's weird just to see it and take it. So.
Well, we're also creative consultants, and we create sideshow and magic for people. So we definitely need to know our history, but we also put a lot into research and development of original effects and acts. So when you put so much time into creating something unique, to have somebody just take it from you with no regard is really frustrating and disheartening. So even people who have stolen stuff from us, we put an offer out on the table. If you stop doing our material, we'll help you develop something original to you.
Wow.
And at the same time, there is sometimes some things are very hard to research, and there is such thing as lateral thinking, but at least put the work in, at least try.
Yeah.
Like make the phone calls, Google it. I mean, you could just...
This stuff must be incredibly hard to research.
Some of it is, but you'd be surprised. Sometimes a quick Google search will bring you onto, even if you're going into the Magic Cafe forums, and a lot of that stuff still dates back into the early 2000s that you can go back on and you can look, and there's been extensive conversations even into the geek magic and into sleight of hand and where it came from. It's you can find it on Google, and if you can't find it on Google, it's a matter of getting the old books.
Or asking, Todd Robbins is a friend of ours, and he's a historian in the sideshow. He runs a group on Facebook called Sideshow Spectrum. Mm-hmm. If you have any questions, you can ask. Yeah, ask. That's all it takes.
Somebody on there is going to know the answer to it.
There's going to be some smart asses and remarks, but that's the thing is it's an open forum, so you have 5,000 people on there. Figure out who knows their shit and privately message them.
I guess I'm sort of realizing as I'm sitting here having this conversation with you that I don't know what is on the cutting edge of geek magic or sideshow these days. And you guys sort of are on that bleeding edge of a lot of that stuff. Like
Jim Rose from Jim Rose Circus,
Yeah.
He credits Ryan as the most innovative person in the history of this genre of sideshow.
Mm-hmm.
And we continuously create. Ryan is a genius when it comes to creating stuff that mixes both sideshow and magic. And
we've had the opportunity to be consultants for David Blaine on his last special. Yeah. I mean, yeah, as far as creating goes, I've created a lot of stuff, and there are other people out there creating, but it's, I guess, like in magic too, there's more performers than there are creators, which I guess is just the way things go. But there are people out there in geek magic and sideshow that are creating. I mean, Andrew S. Is still
Swing Shift Sideshow.
He's creating, and I mean, there's
well,
people
he
out there
saw Ryan's effect, the human meathead, which is a large rigid hook that goes in the nose, comes out the mouth.
Yeah.
Andrew loved that, but wanted to create his own version of that. So he does a giant screw, like a corkscrew that goes in the nose, out the mouth.
Which is, by the way, the meat hook thing is just astonishing to watch. Like, how long did it take you to figure out like the circumference of the hook required, or did you just like walk in and be like, this meat hook will do?
Oh no, it's all custom made. So I make my hooks out of stainless steel, and they're all bent to fit my face perfectly. And over the years, I've been able to make the hooks longer, thicker, and just be able to get just a bigger hook, make it look better. And the thicker a hook that I get, the more weight that I was able to lift from it, to the point that I hold a Guinness World Record for pulling a vehicle from the hook.
Lifts himself.
I also hang from the hook in our theater show.
Wow.
Well, you do blockhead.
Yes.
You've done it.
Yeah.
So you know about the size of something that you can blockhead.
Yes.
Ryan can blockhead a Sharpie.
Really?
Yeah, so I can go pretty wide on it. And
are you working on the Sherpa? Is that the next for very fancy parties?
Yeah. No, right now, I mean, it's our show. I think over the last few years, we kind of put more focus into making it fun and funny. And I think when we were younger, it was about making it more extreme and more creepy and more dangerous. And I think over the last 5-6 years, it's become about making it fun to watch. So even though it's intense, even though it's disturbing, we spend a lot of time writing to make it palatable, to make it funny, to write these vignettes to music and these moments that people walk away with just a nice visual in their mind.
Do you feel like that grew out of your consulting?
I actually think it had a lot to do with the fact that if you're creepy, gothic, only that one direction, your demographic is small.
Yes.
Very small. You add comedy into that, you make it more palatable, your whole demographic opens up. We've done church shows, we've done kids shows, we've done opening for large bands, comedy clubs. We have so many more options to where we can perform because we took that gothic, creepy thing and brushed it off.
It's really interesting because I started as a goth. I was a goth in high school and well into college.
Well, I'm still a goth.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you go out dressed to the nines to get bread in your harnesses and eyeliner, and it's really neat because you have made it in this interesting, palatable. Like I've been telling people about you all night, and just like we need to hang out with these people. It's fun. Now, did you find that your consulting came from creating? Is consulting something that you set out to do?
No.
So I always thought, like, because people always said to me, like, how long can you do this act before your body's not going to be able to swallow swords or put hooks through yourself anymore? And I said, well, when I get older, I'll just creatively consult for other performers. And
he's got like 7 or 8 books filled. And then his iPad, files and files of different original concepts that we haven't released.
And we were told when we were living in Canada, like that, don't release magic tricks. There's no money in that. Don't do we just kind of told other magicians, there's no real money in it. There's nothing to it. When we moved to Las Vegas, we met up with Rick Lax. We ended up becoming friends with him, and we ended up releasing some magic through Penguin Magic.
Yeah.
So I've released 3 mentalism tricks through there. We've got Turning Heads. I've got Organic Choice, one called Mute. And those are all mentalism effects that I just had written already. And
we were talking about Mute last night. I think I might even check it out.
You should definitely check it out. And even like Organic Choice, weird story behind it. It's essentially a book test in a receipt form.
Oh.
So it's a receipt that you can carry around in your wallet, and somebody can memorize any item off of it. And then it's a progressive anagram to get the item that they've selected. And it's as we started to learn that we could release these tricks.
I'm going to interrupt you for 2 seconds. The whole concept of that, Ryan wrote the progressive anagram in his sleep, woke up in a panic, wrote it all down, and then I did the graphic design and the building of it, the receipt.
Yeah, I had most of, even like, I don't know if you've ever worked with a progressive anagram, which is essentially word math.
Yes.
And somehow I had written most of it when I woke up, and I only had to do a little bit of editing on it. And it's a very strange thing, the way it hit me.
We don't perform mentalism, but his brain is amazing for mentalism.
Yeah, because you're not just a sideshow. You know, I hate saying it that way. Like, you're not just a sideshow. You're not just a free. It was like we're talking. Entertainers. We were talking last night about like how excited you are about so much magic, Amber.
Oh,
like
I love magic.
You're a huge nerd about magic.
Massive.
We were hanging out last night over dinner, and you were talking about like how you love Leonard Green and like all of these things, and hitting me
Leonard's
with
a god.
Oh, he really is. I mean, if there's any church that I would go to, it's the Church of Leonard Green.
I'll pray with you.
Oh man,
we go to the Church of Wonderground usually. Yeah,
magic church.
So so when you're not creating magic for the stage for your show, what kind of magic do you enjoy other than that? Because this is. I don't want this podcast to be like, oh, what kind of magic do you like or something like that. But you two your show is so different.
So we find when I write magic to release it, it tends to be a lot of mentalism. But when we consult for other people, it tends to be kind of the strange magic, and that's because that's what people seek us out for. So somebody wants something strange in their show, something a little bit weird, something a little bit creepy. We tend to get hired for those kind of things. So we've written several things for Justin Flom, one that he recently did on a TV show,
World's Best,
where he had a spectator swallow a bunch of thread, and then he cut open her arm and he pulled the thread out of her arm. And
so that concept comes from an old trick called the Yogi thread pull.
Or the Brahma thread mystery.
The Brahma thread mystery, where the performer eats thread, takes his scalpel, cuts his stomach open, and pulls the thread out of his stomach.
Didn't Blaine do a version of that on like the original
in the
special?
1996 Street Magic special? He did the original version of that, but he did a nice little subtlety on it where he pulled the thread out of the kid's shirt and then he swallowed it. It's a beautiful job on it.
And that trick there is prep work, so you have to do stuff beforehand, and very uncomfortable, painful stuff to be able to do that effect. So what we did is we created it so that you can do it to an audience member, no prep work, nothing. And it works great. You can also do it to yourself. And it's the same visual effect, but there's no piercing involved.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so that's what
Justin bought exclusive. I think he still has 2 years left on that.
And that's what we find. We get sought out for the creepy, weird stuff. But once we're brought onto a project, then people quickly realize that, I mean, Amber and I do have extensive knowledge in magic, and this is what we've grown up doing. So we both do card work as well. I do coin work as well.
We also do prop building, foam, resin, all of these things, wiring.
It's a really diverse skill set.
And I think it has to be like when you're being brought in as a consultant. I mean, some of the best consultants out there, if you look at Lisa and Rico and Danny, they're coming in there. Bizarro. I mean, when they're coming into a job, you never know what's going to happen. You're brought in for one project, but who knows if you're going to suddenly need to run a servo or a wire to pull something or do something there. And you need to have that diverse skill set to be able to make it happen.
Your job as a consultant isn't only creating, it's problem solving.
Yeah.
That's the biggest part of it, I think. And I think that's what magic creation is problem solving. And if you're good at problem solving, you'd be a good magic creator. Because really, if somebody comes to you with an idea and they say, I want to make this thing disappear and appear over there at the very simplest form. Now, all you're doing is you're solving the problem, and that's it. You're figuring out how to make this happen now.